Hello everyone. So Ukraine has crossed the border with Russia again, this time into Bryansk region. This has been reported on Russian Telegram pages and they're in quite a buzz about it. This information comes from multiple sources. This first report, translated into English, reads, in the Bryansk region, the entrance to the village is still blocked, whether to claim Ukrainian DRG. The road from the village of Otganie, this is a mistranslation and it's actually Vygonichi. I ran the original Russian text through a text-to-word app to make sure. To Kamlovo is still blocked, local channels report. Earlier, the governor of Borgomos region called the reports of road closures fake, but at the same time confirmed that the roads were blocked, but not because of DRG but some preventative measures. Before that, the fact in the Vykonichi district of Bryansk region, an operation is being carried out to find and eliminate a subversive intelligence group was reported. So, Z-Channel Archangel Special Forces wrote about a group of 10 people who were noticed in the area of Sabatovo and Mekishovo. There was a shootout and the group was blocked. First, we walked along the river, wrote one of the Bryansk channels. Not sure what that means, to be honest. The fighting is taking place in one of the largest forests in Europe, the Bryansk forest. It's hundreds of square kilometers of dense thicket on the left bank of the Desna River. Then we have a second report here. For Bryansk region, Vygonichi district, Lopush settlement and Perotorgi settlement, a group of Ukrainian armed forces entered. There were killed civilians and hostages among them. Now there's a battle. Now, these reports are from Russian Telegram and they're in a bit of a panic. The second one seems like local rumours and nonsense shared by the local Karens. Ukraine wouldn't go into a random town and take hostages, but it does show there is a bit of panic going on amongst the Russians. So on this map here, I've pinpointed each of the settlements name dropped by these Telegram reports. Lopush and Perotorgi are reported to have a Ukrainian troop presence in. These ones mention as the settlements where civilian casualties have occurred and hostages taken. I definitely do call twaddle on those claims, by the way, but it is possible there has been Ukrainian troops sighted in and around those little villages here. The other ones mentioned are Komlovo and Vygonichi. The road between those settlements reportedly being blocked by the military. And finally, Subatov and Myakshivo. So, all of these are pinpointed on the map, and you can see that these are all within the same area, and with the road marked with an X being blocked. So, with all this smoke, there has to be a fire to this. It definitely does seem like Ukraine has penetrated into Russia up to here. You can see here this is a massive 85-kilometre distance to the border. So the Ukrainian units here have penetrated far. By the sounds of the report, this isn't a full-scale mechanised invasion designed to take and hold territory, but rather a small, special forces sabotage or recon team penetrating behind Russian lines that got spotted. To me, one of the big questions here is, were they spotted after carrying out whatever job they were sent to Bryansk for, and so were heading back to Ukraine and spotted on the way out, or were they spotted heading towards the target and so the mission failed? That much, I don't know yet. A penetration like this suggests one of three options for me for the target here. So, number one, this was an attempted assassination of somebody. It wouldn't be the first time. Quite a few Russian officials and war criminals have met their end this way. Some by people in Russia who are agents or sympathetic to Ukraine and partisan groups opposed to Putin, who were funded and organised by Ukrainian intelligence. Others definitely seem to be Ukrainian operatives behind the enemy lines. One from, I believe it was last year, a Tu-22M pilot responsible for targeting civilians, who was abducted, taken into the woods, and accidentally fell underneath a sledgehammer. That one springs to mind there as being Ukrainian operatives. Option 2. Sabotage. This group intended to go behind Russian lines and cause chaos. Sabotage something of key importance like a railway lines or a bridge or a factory or an airfield, something like that. Or option 3. A manpad ambush. So, go into Bryansk, lie in wait in an area where jets operate, and then ambush it. Bryansk does have an Air Force base, shown in red. It's a transport and logistics base, but these sabotage groups aren't really near it or on a possible flight path for transporters heading to it. In yellow is Kaluga, which is a bomber base, but operations there have wound down a lot. I actually don't think Tu-22Ms fly from here anymore, after Ukraine hit the base during 2022 and early 2023. Plus, a Tu-22M wouldn't need to fly over this area as they have a long range and fire long range missiles. So I'm going to rule targeting aircraft at Kaluga out here. But we can't rule out though that this is a SAM ambush team. It could be that Ukraine has identified this area as a flight route for bombers launching glide bombs like Su-34s and launching ambush on them en route, or aircraft flying from Russia into Belarus, which may be a key target. As you can see, it is sort of on that route. Ruling out this targeting Russian aircraft attacking Ukraine, this is on the area of the border with Ukraine that isn't front line, and so isn't really a major operation place for Su-34s. But definitely, we can't rule out that this being a SAM team intended to target aircraft flying between Russia and Belarus, and this was identified as the route taken. But I do think this being a SAM ambush team is a bit unlikely here, as there's just not really any targets I can identify. Now, these you can see are not too far from Bryansk city, and they actually look like they're heading towards Bryansk city, or of course away from Bryansk city, which makes me think that whatever they were planning, or whatever they did, was in and around the city itself, whether it was sabotaging something there, or assassinating an official there. To send a team this far behind Russian lines, the target must have had some importance. So, I'm going to make a suggestion here. Were these hunting Iskanders? The Bryansk region, just north of where these soldiers are, is just over 400 kilometers to Kiev. Iskander has a 500 kilometer max range, so this is definitely in a likely area where Iskander would be launched from. Iskanders are hitting Ukraine hard, and so far, Ukraine hasn't had any success in countering them, because Iskander has a very long range so it can operate outside the range of many of Ukraine's systems, and Ukraine still has restrictions on strikes within Russia for ATACMS and other long-range missiles. So Ukraine doesn't have a counter for Iskanders. So I wonder if Iskanders are launched from this region, and Ukraine has sent a sabotage team into Bryansk to find them. Iskanders would be a key target, and so would be worthy of a risky operation like this. Plus, unlike an assassination, which can be done with a small team, ambushing an Iskander at launch or the place it's stored would likely require more manpower, which fits in with the reports here. That's just a suggestion though. Honestly, we can't be sure what Ukraine was up to here, but it's certainly interesting that they infiltrated so far. Hopefully the mission was a success, and they were spotted pulling out, and of course hopefully they got away after being spotted. Now, the report also mentioned the infiltrators of Ukraine were operating in the Bryansk forest. You can see this stretches from the border with Ukraine up to this region where the infiltrators were spotted, which does make it a very good spot for sabotage teams to operate, and potentially advance quite far without being spotted. Once they pass the initial front lines, they're in a big deep forest with the coverage that provides from Russians and that sort of thing. Now, this forest as well could potentially be a good hiding spot for Iskander operators. If Russia did a bit of a clever move here and launches them for clearings in the forest and then hiding them among the trees, they may be difficult to spot and destroy. More difficult than, say, launching it from near a city and hiding it in a big conspicuous warehouse. Again, it's just a suggestion, I don't know if that is the case or not, but I think it's one worth considering. So, that's it for this video. Hope you found it interesting. Now, I'm going to play two videos from NAFO about the ongoing fundraiser, which features patches featuring my pet rabbit, Muffin. The donation is going pretty well at the moment, so big thanks to everybody who's donated so far. The link is in the description. Thanks very much, and take care, everybody.
UAV company split of 13th Battalion 95th Air Assault Brigade. We're in dire need of a pickup truck for evacuating wounded personnel and for completing combat missions. On top of that, we also need Mavic 3T drones to enhance our reconnaissance and combat capabilities. We ask NAFO and charity fund 99, Help 99, to provide us with said equipment. Glory to Ukraine.
Good evening. We are a reconnaissance crew of a 3rd Assault Brigade. Since 2024, for many months, we hold the front line in Kharkiv region. Non-stop battles require a lot of equipment. Therefore, we need help from you, our friends from Help 99 and NAFO. We really need DJI Mavic drones, specifically 8 Mavic 3T and 6 Mavic 3 Pro. Also, we have need of a pickup truck. Thank you for your help. Everything would be much harder without you. Слава Україні!
Героям слава!